Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa.
It's Fafa Gilbert here and welcome to the Creative African Cooking Channel in Ndudu by Fafa, where you find me twisting things and adding new ingredients and, flavor zone. Yes, I love enhancing the natural flavors of dishes. So if you really want some tasty African dishes also present to you beautifully, this is the channel for you. Hey, and today on the menu, I do have my Jollof Arancini recipe. Now this is the must-go-to recipe. Now this dish was actually inspired by a trip that I took to Sicily. It has been till date one of my favorite places to visit. And I enjoyed this beautiful arancini bowl, which of course they make it with risotto rice and it has cheese in it. And the one I tasted was also stuffed with the famous Bronte Pistachios. And I'll tell you what, it was heaven, and I was so inspired. So when I got back to the UK, that was the first recipe I tried, and I tried it with various cheeses because it has to have that little sauce in there. And I was like, if I think about it, our jollof is actually cooked in sauce, so that flavor is there already. So all I just need to then do is just add some cheese, or actually make some cheese sauce and mix with it. Yes, I know, right? Now this is a perfect recipe for using your leftover jollof rice. Now needless to say, when I did actually create this recipe back in the day, it had inspired a lot of people who've actually tried the recipe and written about it. But anyway, I love to set the trend. So now let's continue cooking. Now for that beautiful, moist and just gorgeous texture, and the one that would mimic that of the Sicilian arancini, is to actually use your short grain rice to make your jollof because it has a higher starch content and it molds perfectly. In the absence of that, you can just use any of your leftover jollof rice for this recipe. But I will show you about the short grain jollof rice recipe, which will be coming up next. Now there are a few rules to actually making the perfect arancini bowl. Now, it's important that you use the right breadcrumbs because the breadcrumbs are supposed to actually act as a barrier to prevent the oil from actually infusing into the arancini bowl. So it forms this beautiful crust on the outer layer that is light as well. So when you bite into it, you're biting into a beautiful outer crispy shell, but you're biting into this beautiful moist goodness. So yes, you also need to introduce moisture to your rice if your rice is on the dry side. So you can add a little bit of your stew or you can add some cheese sauce. In this case, if you follow this recipe, you end up with this gooey goodness. It's so nice, Papa. Now let's continue. For the list of ingredients, you need your breadcrumbs, eggs, your jollof rice, your shredded mozzarella, and any herb of your choosing. I've actually used oregano and spring onions in this mixture, but it's perfect. You can use your parsley as well if you wish, definitely. Now I'm just adding an egg to it to actually create that moisture and to allow this mixture to also bind perfectly. So what I'm actually now doing is massaging or mixing everything, but adding a little bit of pressure so that it's well mixed, and also it's easier then for me to form a bowl because we need to form the perfect bowls, definitely. Anyway, just scoop a handful and just mold that by adding that little pressure as you twist and turn it around, and you end up with that perfectly shaped bowl. Look at that. Now this recipe would actually make 4 relatively large bowls, I'd say. And yes, I think that we're now ready to move on to the next level. At this point, place your unscented preferred oil in a saucepan and place it on a medium heat for about 4 minutes. Now take your jollof bowl, drop it into your beaten egg, and then drop it into the breadcrumbs. So what you then do is just lightly toss the jollof balls into your breadcrumbs so it lightly coats it just perfectly. At this point, your oil is perfectly hot for you to actually carefully drop in your arancini balls. It's best to actually place the arancini bowl maybe on a ladle before you drop it in, because you need to take all necessary precautions when dealing with hot oil particularly, or anything that is hot as a matter of fact. So carefully drop each bowl into the oil and fry for about 4 minutes because it would start to turn golden brown, and that's just perfect. Now secondly, you don't want to overload your oil with too many bowls. So you just need about the right amount, because each time you drop a bowl in, the temperature of the oil actually drops. And when it drops, that's when it infiltrates into the arancini bowl. So make sure that you don't overcrowd your pot when you're doing the frying. So now you've got that beautiful golden color. It's like it's ready. And this can be enjoyed. I'll tell you the beauty about this. This can actually be enjoyed hot, or it can be enjoyed cold. Look at that beautiful gooiness. Look at that stretchiness from that mozzarella. And you've got your spring onions in there, the oregano. This is not any other food. This is Ndudu by Fafa. I hope you are inspired to try this recipe. Look at this beauty. You've got the rice in there as well. Chale, this is like some jollof party be cry in your mouth. What you say? Also remember that you can enjoy this cold, and when it's cold, it's also beautiful. So either way, you can warm it up. You have your hot version or you have your cold version. And yes, you've learned something new, something interesting, and a must try. Now, you can also use your leftover fried plantain, as I actually used here. I made some corned beef jollof rice, added my fried plantain, and then I had some halloumi. You can add the Ghanaian Wagashie to it, and you can create your own different version of this recipe. You can also create a vegetarian version by just using vegetables. And yes, it's a must try, definitely. Now, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, you need to click that subscribe button. You don't want to miss anything here. You will find the transcripts of this recipe on my blog ndudubyfafa.blogspot.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Ndudu by Fafa. It's been amazing, and thank you all for your support, your likes, your comments, your inspiration. And you know what? Always be nice, be you, be kind, be lovely. I love you. Until next time, take care of you. Bye-bye.